funny, I was driving to work today, and I was jokingly going to text Dave and say, hey, what are the chances that Dana White would call in today? I thought it was maybe the biggest story of the weekend was Jon Jones fighting Saturday night on the great UFC 214 card. I didn't ask Dave. I was a little busy, so that slipped my mind. He texted me and said Dana White's calling in at 5:05, and Dana joins us now here on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. Dana, it's a premonition I had, and here you are. Thanks for calling in, pal.
No, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're in Atlantic City. Obviously, the fight game is big here, combat sports, UFC, and 214 was huge. We watched it with a big crowd on Saturday night. But the story of the event, maybe after Jon Jones wins, is what's up next. He calls out Brock Lesnar in the middle of the octagon there. So you could shed some light on that for us.
Yeah, no, obviously Jon Jones looked incredible on Saturday night. With the layoff that he's had, the personal problems, to come back and beat a guy like Cormier the way that he beat him is, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to give Jon his props that he's the best ever to ever do it by far. And what I talked to Brock Lesnar that night after the fight. Obviously, that stuff took me by surprise. That Lesnar wanted to fight Jones, but it probably wouldn't happen. First of all, he'd have to be on the USADA program for 6 months. He has some other contract obligations, so I don't see it happening anytime soon, but he wants to do it.
So he wants to do it. Lesnar obviously has been out for a while. I mean, he had the fight against Hunt a little while ago, but he's got his WWE obligations. I think I heard you say, though, you would like to see Lesnar fight another fight before he did something like this. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't say that. Lesnar's come in, and he's been an absolute freak of nature. The guy won the heavyweight title. I didn't think it was possible. He did it. You want to come in and fight Jon Jones? All right, we can do it.
All right, Dana White's with us. So Jon Jones comes back. For me, watching that fight, I mean, Cormier, it would look like you could go either way, first 2 rounds. What's the distance in your mind between those two guys now? I mean, Cormier, it's like he's up there and he's thinking, I got to beat this guy. This is the guy I want to beat. It's in his mind. I got to do this. And it seems like, Jones just separated himself so much from the next best guy.
It's true, and just to put it into perspective, Daniel Cormier is undefeated at heavyweight. He was a heavyweight. The only reason he moved down to light heavyweight is because his best friend Cain Velasquez at the time was the heavyweight champion. So he came in, moved down to light heavyweight, but this guy had never lost at heavyweight. The only guy to ever beat him is Jon Jones, just to show how good Jon Jones is. Jon Jones comes in and chokes Lyoto Machida unconscious, puts him to sleep. Finishes Shogun Rua with knees. He's destroyed everybody. Legends. Gone through Murderer's Row at 205 pounds, and then finishes Daniel Cormier Saturday night.
Hey, Dana, this is Pete Thompson. Jon Jones was pretty respectful of Daniel Cormier post-fight. Is that Jon Jones trying to change his image a little bit and recognizing, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be all fire and brimstone all the time?
Hey, I didn't see that one coming either. But I think that Jon Jones knows, and I think that was a little bit of the side of Jon Jones finally admitting some of the things that he's done wrong and saying, look at Daniel Cormier. The guy's been a model, good guy. I think it was such a home run interview by Jones. Home run.
Talk with Dana White here, and, Jones – the Lesnar thing is so interesting to me because of the McGregor-Mayweather thing that's going on. I mean, these are two guys from different genres, really. You got a boxer and an MMA fighter that fights for your organization, obviously UFC. But Jones and Lesnar are not – I mean, they can fight in the same weight class, I guess, but they're not close in weight. Is that something that you think of at all, or does that not matter now that you see what the event that you helped put together with McGregor and Mayweather?
Well, they could, they're not that far off in weight because Jon Jones has talked for a long time about fighting at heavyweight. He's a massive guy, man. I mean, Jon Jones is huge. Cormier came in a little leaner for this fight than normal. He looked super lean. He was ready for this fight. And because he was so lean, the size difference looked ridiculous with those two on Saturday. I don't know if it was just me or if you guys saw that too. Jon Jones looked so much bigger than Cormier to me.
No, not just you. Yeah, there was certainly like, wow, this, and then, you know, obviously the height difference makes it look like on television, certainly makes it look different. But Brock is just a massive human being. Like to see Jon Jones, he doesn't look anywhere near the same size, but I guess he can get himself to that level. I guess naturally he's bigger than what he typically fights at, right?
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised if you saw Jon Jones and Lesnar square off together. I think you'd be surprised. Jones is a massive guy.
Dana, I had no idea that Jon Jones was a massive guy. I've never felt that before.
Yeah. You know from experience.
Dana, the other name out there is Alexander Gustafsson. Obviously a guy who's coming back after some injuries, but also looking to reclaim his status as one of the top at 205. Where does he fit in the mix in your eyes when you talk about guys that could potentially face Jon Jones?
Yeah, you know, obviously he threw his name out there real quick after the fight. He tweeted out, "Don't start talking about fighting anything other than me," or something like that. And basically, you know, he wants to fight too. So there's a lot of exciting fights for Jon Jones now that he's back at 205 pounds or at heavyweight.
Because of the Mayweather-McGregor event, do you think there are going to be more guys calling guys out that are from different weight classes that are, you know, I know you're saying Jones is a big, massive dude, but just seeing Brock Lesnar, I mean, what's Lesnar weigh in his normal day? He's got to be about 300 pounds, right?
Probably.
So do you think you'll start to see more guys maybe doing this and having more catch weights than you will inside the actual weight classes?
I hope not. I think you're going to have more, you know, guys wanting to box and stuff like that. But, you know, it's something that I'm going to have to manage over the next couple of years.
So what's as we're getting close to August 26th, I want to go back to 214 in a minute, but we've kind of gone down that road a little bit. We saw the four, I watched all of them. You like the direction this has gone? Do you like where it's going? The Mayweather-McGregor stuff?
Man. This thing is what it is. You know, it's something originally that I was like, there's no way we would do this. And, you know, the fans and the media, it kept building and building and building. I threw the offer out to Floyd on ESPN, and it ended up turning into a negotiation. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
Now, you were on the stage for those four pressers.
Yeah, that's a generous word.
Right. Looking back at that, what was that like, man?
It was awesome. You know, we traveled to all these cities. The crowds were incredible. The fans were going crazy. And it wasn't my show, so I didn't have to do anything but just show up. So it was great for me.
Scheller, if you were still there, I'm sure you would have got thrown around that ring at some point, right?
I think now that the Jones-Cormier thing is officially over, we can move on from that joke.
Dana White's with us. Dana, give the listeners who watched the card 214 Saturday night a couple of other highlights in your mind that you saw, because there was a lot of the Lawler Cerrone fight was awesome. Seeing Cyborg was great. You know, what stood up to you from Saturday night?
Yeah, it's got to be the main event, the Jones fight, but there were so many other good fights that night. I don't know if you guys saw the Brian Ortega fight. Man, that guy is an absolute stud. Iron chin, great hands, and jiu-jitsu that's probably second to none in the sport. There were so many good fights that night.
I know you got to get rolling here. So Jones, Lesnar, you said maybe. Is that to you the biggest intrigue, the next biggest intrigue in your organization?
Well, I just think that the fight's so long away. Jones will probably fight 2 or 3 more times before that fight would happen. So, yes, it's very intriguing. A lot of people probably want to see it, but they're going to see Jones fight a couple people before that's even possible.
All right, we'll let you roll out on this one. We're in AC. We're close to Philly. We're going to see you in this area anytime in the near future.
God, I hope so, man. I love coming back there. We're working on it. We're actually going through that stuff in the next couple of weeks on where we're going to, picking new dates for next year. But fill me in a little bit on what's going on there and how can I help? What do you guys got going on there?
So today, Dana, we're doing a supplies drive for the Atlantic City Rescue Mission as we continue to look to help them get back on their feet. As you know, Dana, you and I were close for many years and still are today. There are a lot of folks still fighting back here in this area after some of the economic crisis due to the closing of the casinos, folks that are homeless and trying to get back on their feet. So Mike, Pete, and I got together along with the Sixers and are doing everything we can to help the Atlantic City Rescue Mission.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll give $5,000 from the UFC and $5,000 from me personally.
Whoa. Holy cow, Dana, thank you. Oh, my gosh.
That's pretty big news right there.
Wow. Dana, thank you so much.
Dana, that's awesome, man. And again, we appreciate you jumping on board. I said when I drove into work today, I said, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to hear from Dana today. And Dave, when he texted me that, I said, man, that's pretty cool because I know it's a crazy weekend and you got a pretty big event that you're helping with on the 26th. And after doing that, I know that's huge out of you. I appreciate it, man.
Dana, you are the man.
Thanks for thinking of me.
Thank you, Dana.
All right, Dave. Always a pleasure, brother.
You're the best.
Have a great day, guys.